Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video of Be the Best DFS Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. My name is Bradford Best, and today is Saturday, August 13th, and I'll be going over my FanDuel lineup strategy for tonight's main slate. I took last night off. I didn't even play on the main slate. I did enter a few contests on the late night slate, and I ended up breaking even with my money. My lineup scored like 124 points. But, I'm excited about tonight's slate. I've been at work all day, but during my lunch break, I kind of put together a lineup, and I'm really looking forward to tonight. I think I came up with something good. I'm just going to share it with you all, and, hopefully we can all be successful and, win some money tonight. So to get it started, we're going to start off with the first position, the pitcher position, which is a very, very important position. And for GPPs and tournaments tonight, my favorite pitcher on the slate is Madison Bumgarner for $11,400. Now, Bumgarner, he's the highest priced pitcher, but I feel like he's worth the investment tonight. They're playing at home at AT&T Park, which is known to be a pitcher's ballpark. Bumgarner, every night he pitched, he's a threat to go deep in the game and possibly pitch a complete game. He does have strikeout upside. Last month he had a game where he had 81 fantasy points with 14 strikeouts. Now, granted, it was the Arizona Diamondbacks, but hey, they're professionals, and that's pretty good to have that type of game, against professional ball players. But another thing. The Giants, they're playing the Baltimore Orioles tonight. And as I was doing a little bit of research, pretty much all of the Orioles lineup have never faced Bumgarner before, with the exception of Trumbo. And Trumbo, he has one career home run off of Bumgarner, but that's okay. I just think Bumgarner has the advantage going up against this Baltimore Orioles lineup in this ballpark. Now, I typically don't spend up for pitcher. I try to look for a value play or a player with a lower salary or mid-range salary. But on tonight's slate, I really just don't trust anybody with the lower salary tonight. I just don't trust anyone. If I had to pick a second choice at pitcher tonight, it probably would be Cole Hamels of the Texas Rangers for $9,800. But the thing that scares me about Cole Hamels is I'm scared of that Detroit offense. Miguel Cabrera, Justin Upton, Ian Kinsler, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez. That whole lineup scares me, and they can explode at any given night, and I just don't want to risk it. I feel more confident with Bumgarner. My third option would probably be it's a toss-up between Jake DeGrom and Iwakuma for the Seattle Mariners. Now, DeGrom, he's a good pitcher. I feel where the Mets play, it's a pitcher's ballpark. They playing against the Padres, who aren't that good of a team. But the Mets, they have some dysfunction going on in that organization. I know a few days ago, the manager, Collins, he called out his team questioning their heart. And I just simply don't want that dysfunction in my fantasy lineup tonight. I just feel it's too risky. DeGrom, he could have a good game. His price is a little lower than Bumgarner. But personally, I don't want to take the risk. And Iwakuma, he's very, very interesting. His last two games, he was great. Against Seattle, let me look it up. Against the Detroit Tigers on August 8th, he had 57 fantasy points, but that was at home in Seattle. And on August 3rd, which was very impressive, against the Boston Red Sox, he had 55 fantasy points, but that was also in Seattle. The game tonight is in Oakland, which is a pitcher's park, but I'm just not sure he's going to have that same type of success on the road. I could be wrong, but Iwakuma, he's a interesting play at pitcher also, in my opinion. He could be a good tournament play. But I feel most confident in Madison Bumgarner. Now, he does cost a lot. It's a premium price. But I feel tonight he's worth the investment. And other than that, I really don't see anyone else at pitcher that I would consider tonight. it just really don't look that good to me. I think it's going to be a lot of offense. So those are the pitchers that I see are in play tonight for tournaments in GPP. And I'm just going to pick the top guy, Mad Dog, Madison Bumgarner. Moving on to the catcher position. We know catcher is a position that I normally pay down for, because, it's not that many players with a lot of power. It's a lot of platoon players that don't play every day. So paying down at this position, for right now, I got Carlos Ruiz in my lineup for the Philadelphia Phillies. I know he's not a very, very popular player, but I like the matchup of him going against a left-handed pitcher in Anderson for the Rockies. And Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia is known to be a ballpark that's favorable to right-handed power. And according to the Roto Grinders weather report, the wind is supposed to be blowing out to left field, which makes tonight conducive for right-handed pull power. So I like Carlos Ruiz tonight. Obviously, if you're not feeling Ruiz, Stephen Vogt, I think he's a good play, batting third in the order. And, of course, Jonathan Lucroy, lefty versus righty matchup, playing at home. He's definitely in play. And possibly Victor Martinez for the Tigers if you're interested in stacking the Tigers. But, catcher is typically a thin position. Right now, I got Ruiz. And as I go through my lineup, I know I'm going to surprise you guys, but I have a stack tonight. Okay. The next position, the second part of my stack, Tommy Joseph for the Philadelphia Phillies at a price tag of $2,400. Joseph, he has 15 home runs on the season. He's a right-handed hitter. He has some power. I just think a price tag of $2,400, that's too good to pass up. And when I spend all that money on pitcher with Bumgarner, I have to look for low value plays at a low salary. So he fits right into the equation at $2,400. All the things I mentioned about Ruiz, I feel the same thing about Joseph. And yes, tonight I have a Philadelphia Phillies stack. I know in previous videos I said I don't really like stacks because I feel they limit your options, but I feel really, really confident about the Philadelphia Phillies offense tonight. So tonight I'm going with a stack. I'm not going to do it every night, but tonight I feel confident about a Philadelphia Phillies stack. But I like Tommy Joseph at first base. Of course, he's not the best first baseman on the board tonight. Other players that you can consider, definitely Freddie Freeman. He's been on the road lately. He's in play. The wind is supposed to be blowing out in D.C. David Ortiz, 4,400. He's also in play. If you want to be contrarian, Will Myers. He had one career home run against Jake DeGrom. He's a good play. I think Joey Votto could be an excellent play. I really think a lot of the Cincinnati Reds could have a good night tonight. If you want to make a stack with Joey Votto, Billy Hamilton, Duvall, Brandon Phillips, Votto, I think he's in play. They're playing at Milwaukee at Miller Park. He does have at least one career home run against Zach Davies. He's a good play. Miguel Cabrera, he's always a good play just because he's a great player. And yeah, that's about all I see really at first base. I'm taking a risk and paying down. And for right now, I like Tommy Joseph for the Philadelphia Phillies. I really like the Phillies tonight. At second base, moving on to the next position, I like Daniel Murphy. Daniel Murphy for the Washington Nationals. He's $3,800. Let me look him up. Playing against the Braves in a lefty versus righty matchup. Murphy, he's just been having an excellent season. He's batting .348 on the season, 21 home runs, 82 RBIs. He's going up against a rookie pitcher in Whalen for the Braves. I think he's in a great spot, to have a good game tonight. So I got him as a one-off in my lineup. You got to have some top players, and I really like Murphy in the spot that he's in, batting third in the lineup. Other than Murphy, D. Gordon, he's definitely a good play, leading off for the Miami Marlins. Same price tag, 3,800. It's going to be a lefty versus righty matchup going up against James Shields of the Chicago White Sox. Brian Dozier, that's one of my favorite second basemen. He could be a good play. He's on a little hot streak. He's leading off. The wind's supposed to be blowing out to right field, I think, in Minnesota. Ian Kinsler leading off. If you can get a leadoff batter in your lineup, that's always to your advantage. The guy for Philadelphia Phillies, Hernandez, he's leading off. He's at a price tag of 2,800. He could be an interesting play, but I got other Phillies in my stack that I'm going to use. I might switch it up, though. Hernandez could be a good play, but I don't think I can pass on Daniel Murphy. So, just going over the second base position, I like Murphy tonight. I think he gets a home run, gets at least 20 fantasy points. But, other good plays, I probably would say D. Gordon because of the stolen base upside, and Brian Dozier because of the home run upside. Anyone else, just, I guess, try to include them in like a mini stack. Moving on to the next position, third base. This would be like the third part of my Philadelphia Phillies stack. Maikel Franco for the Philadelphia Phillies at 2,800. He's also at a great price, below 3,000. This guy, he has power. He's a right-handed hitter. 20 home runs on the season. Lefty versus righty matchup. And when I consider the weather conditions in the ballpark, I think Franco is in a great spot to have a good game tonight. If you're not feeling Franco, Martin Prado for the Miami Marlins, I think he's an excellent play if you like the Marlins tonight, because James Shields, he can struggle at any given moment, and Prado, he has a very, very good history versus him. I can't remember the exact batter versus pitcher statistics off the top of my head, but he does have at least one career home run, and he's batting for a good average versus James Shield. Another great tournament play for tonight for third base, I think, is Todd Frazier for the Chicago White Sox. Whenever this guy is facing a lefty, you should definitely consider putting him in your lineup. Former home run derby champion, He has 31 home runs on the season. I think that has to be second in the league behind Mark Trumbo. But, his batting average is horrible. He bat .211. But whenever he faces a left-handed batter, his home run upside just shoots up. So Todd Frazier at a price tag of 3,300. If you're looking for a little home run upside, I think he's a great play at third base. And VR, because of the stolen base upside, he got 45 stolen bases on the season. This is for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's a switch hitter, and he's leading off. So Jonathan VR, he's definitely someone you should consider. Because if he gets on base, it's likely that he's going to, steal. And then he got the extra base hit threat as well. Nolan Arenado, I really don't have to say much about him. We all know he's great. Definitely consider him. But just going through the player pool. Yeah, that's about all I see at third base. I'm rolling with this Philadelphia Phillies stack tonight. So, I like Franco, but I think Frazier is a great play. And also VR, he's a great play as well. And I'm going to move on to the next position of shortstop. All right, for the shortstop position, my options are kind of limited because I spend so much on pitchers, so I have to look for low salary players. And at a low salary of $2,700, I like Brandon Crawford tonight for the San Francisco Giants. Playing at home, lefty versus righty matchup. I think he's in a good spot to have a good game tonight. He had a good game on On the 10th, last night he didn't get any hits, but on the 10th he had 21.7 fantasy points. And if you look at his game log on FanDuel, his last 4 to 5 games, he's alternated between having 0 fantasy points and putting up, double digit fantasy points since August 6th. So if he continues on that trend, he had 0 last night, so I expect him to get double digit fantasy points tonight. I mean, it's right there on the game log. Just you can look at it yourself. So I like Brandon Crawford tonight. The wind blows out at AT&T Park. It is a big ballpark, but Crawford, he's used to playing there. And at a price tag of $2,700, he fits perfectly into the lineup I'm trying to make tonight. And if you look at other players at shortstop to consider for tournaments and GPPs, Trey Turner definitely leading off for the Washington Nationals, lefty versus righty matchup. He's a good base stealer, definitely. 3,400, decent price, definitely consider him. Espinosa, he's batting low in the order, 7th for the Washington Nationals, but he does have power. Look this up real quick. 18 home runs on the season, facing a rookie pitcher in Whalen for the Braves. Both of those guys you can consider, Trey Turner or Espinosa. And honestly, that's about all I see at the shortstop position. Shortstops usually don't have a lot of options. I see Lindor on there for the Cleveland Indians, but, I had got an alert when I looked at the weather report for the game in Cleveland. They got it marked at like red-orange, like the weather report as far as the rain. So I'm kind of like just going over anybody in the Indians and Angels game because they say the weather's supposed to be bad, and they advise that we fade the game. So I'm going based off that. But again, at shortstop, I like Brandon Crawford mainly because of his price of $2,700. But other than Crawford, I think Trey Turner is the top play, and the sneaky play is Espinosa for $3,100. And moving on to the last position for the lineup that I'm building tonight, the outfield position. One of the players I like at outfield tonight is Chris Davis. That's Chris Davis with a K for the Oakland Athletics. Oakland is a tough ballpark to hit home runs in, but Chris Davis, he has exceptional power. He has one career home run against the pitcher, Iwakuma, that he's facing. Not a good batting average, but I don't need him to hit for a good average. I just need him to hit a home run. He helped me out last night in my late night lineup with a home run. And I like to look for players who are trending in like a hot streak. And, I just believe that, he's one of those streaky players, and I think he gets another home run tonight. Earlier in the season, when he hit 3 home runs in the game, the very next game he hit 2. So Chris Davis, he's been known to be a streaky player. His price tag is $3,000, which is very good. I have a little bit of money because I spent up on Bumgarner. So Chris Davis of the Oakland Athletics, he's one player I like at the outfield position. Another player that I like tonight for $3,300 is Adam Duvall of the Cincinnati Reds. He has a good BVP statistics versus Zach Davies. I believe he's 3 for 12 with 1 career home run. And being that the game is at Miller Park, which is considered a hitter's park, I think Duvall is in a good spot to get a home run tonight. And he also homered on last night. And, I just like to look for those players who gets in those streaks. And being that he homered last night, good history, good ballpark, I like Duvall tonight for the Cincinnati Reds at the outfield position. And also, I forgot to mention, he has 27 home runs on the season. So he's definitely a power hitter. And the last person that I like at the outfield position, this was simply because of the price and making it a part of my stack. Altair for the Philadelphia Phillies at $2,800. Now, Altair, he's averaging the most fantasy points out of all outfielders this on the slate tonight. His average, he's averaging 14.11 fantasy points per game. He's batting third in the lineup, and he's a right-handed hitter facing the same lefty for the Rockies in Anderson. He's only played 14 games on the season, but he's been real productive since he's got in the lineup, like maybe a couple weeks ago. And I just really got a good feeling about the Philadelphia Phillies tonight. So if I stick him in my lineup how I currently have it constructed now, I would have 4 Phillies. Carlos Ruiz at catcher, Tommy Joseph at first base, Maikel Franco at third base, and Altair in the outfield. And the interesting thing about all those Phillies, they all priced under $3,000. Like everybody in the Phillies lineup tonight, they're priced below $3,000. And I just found that just very, very intriguing. They just priced them like they're just super sorry. I mean, they playing at home. The pitcher that they're facing is average, to say the least. A couple of their players should be priced at least $3,000. So I think the Philadelphia Phillies will go overlooked. They're low price, and I think they're in a good position to stack up tonight. And so I'm going to call my lineup the Philadelphia Cheese Stack. Okay, I don't know if y'all thought that was funny or not, but just to wrap up the outfield position, always consider Mookie Betts, at home. He's a great player. Charlie Blackmon, he's been on the road. He hit 3 home runs last night, but he might have high ownership. So for tournaments, you may want to fade him. David Dahl for the Colorado Rockies, great price at $3,100. I wouldn't blame you if you want to use him. Ryan Braun at home, he's been hot lately. Jay Bruce, he's a guy who can hit 2 home runs any given night. Lefty versus righty matchup at Citi Field. I'm not on any of the Orioles because I like Bumgarner. J.D. Martinez, lefty versus righty matchup. Miguel Sano for the Twins, he's been on the roll. Don't want to forget to mention Billy Hamilton. This guy, it seems like he steals 3 or 4 bases every other game. I looked at his game log. He stole 3 bases in the last game he played. His price tag isn't that bad, $3,400. So Billy Hamilton for the Reds, he's definitely in play. I think a Cincinnati Reds stack is definitely in play. Votto, Duvall, Hamilton, and pick someone else to put in there. Let's see. Just looking through these outfield positions. Another outfielder that I really, really like tonight. I had him in my lineup, but I kind of took him out because I like Adam Duvall better. Max Kepler for the Minnesota Twins. I think he's in a good spot tonight. The wind's supposed to be blowing out to right field. He's a left-handed batter. We all know, like a week or two ago, he hit 3 home runs in the game. He bats relatively high in the order. He typically bats second or third. Kepler for the Minnesota Twins, I think he could be a great, great tournament play. I really want to use him, but I just have a gut feeling about Duvall tonight. So I'm going to stick with Duvall. And, that's about all the main players I see at the outfield position tonight. So just to recap, my lineup strategy tonight, I'm doing something kind of different. I typically don't pay up for pitcher, but tonight I feel it's worth the investment. I like Madison Bumgarner at pitcher. And for my lineup, y'all know I don't like to stack. I really don't like to stack, but, as I was building my lineup, all those cheap prices for those Phillies, I got a Philadelphia stack. Carlos Ruiz, Tommy Joseph, Maikel Franco, Altair, and the rest of my lineup are just, one-offs. Daniel Murphy, Brandon Crawford because of his price salary. I like Chris Davis. I like Duvall. But, I could make some adjustments because, as I mentioned in the video, there are some other players that I like. But that's about it for my lineup, my Philly cheese stack lineup. I'm going to close the video out. Just want to thank everyone who subscribed to this YouTube channel. I really do appreciate y'all for subscribing, each and every one of you. Thanks to everyone who's joining the Facebook group, Be the Best Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. You can also find me on Twitter at Be the Best DFS. And just thank everyone for all the support. I'm just going to keep on working hard at this, keep researching. Hopefully can win some money in this baseball. Football is right around the corner, so I'm excited about that. And that's about all I have for today. It's about 5 o'clock now. I'm just going to, look at my lineup, make some adjustments, look at the weather reports. And, I think tonight's going to be a good night. So again, thanks everyone. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you join the Facebook group and follow the Twitter account. Thanks again everyone, and I'll leave y'all with what I always leave y'all with. Try to be the best tonight. All right, I'm out.